All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're posting the trade recap today. If you guys didn't see the previous shorts I posted, go look at those. But just a quick refresher. We took a 100-point long today, and then in that same short, I was looking for additional longs, and then we actually ended up taking a short, which I posted another YouTube short on. But yeah, so we're gonna look here. We're not going to look at the S&P today. There wasn't really much, so I think it just looks cleaner when we have just one indice in our chart. So all these blue lines, sell side, buy side liquidity, so just excuse those. But yeah, here in the daily time frame, I mean, obviously we're looking for longs. Market's just kind of been exploding up since the start of this week and the start of this month as well. So price action has been good overall. We're 3 for 3 this week. On green days. I wouldn't say trades. We have taken some losses. Just haven't posted the recaps for those. I just post, the good helpful trades we have here. But noticing today on the daily time frame, we'll kind of go into the recap. On the daily time frame, basically all we noted was this inversion of this daily gap in here, and then we kind of gapped up. Let's see, and then tomorrow we're kind of waiting to see if we hold this gap. Create this gap and then come back down, tap it before we have continuation higher. I think this gap here is just going to be a breakaway gap. But yeah, and then we have the suspension block in here as well. So maybe not setting any expectations for the market to do anything, because you guys know, the market can literally do anything. It can go down, it can go up. But the ideal situation would kind of be creation of this fair value gap in the daily time frame down, and then price to come back down into this inversion gap as well as the fair value gap, and then bounce up. That will be quite a few points. Actually, it'd be 400-ish points if we hold price around here this morning. So we'll see how that goes. But that's just the expectation for tomorrow, if then again we hold this gap. But we'll have to wait and see. So here on the 4-hour, we didn't have this candle yet on the 4-hour. So actually, we'll start with the highs that we noted here. So we have these 3 relative equal highs. These are the areas of buy side liquidity that was my draw on liquidity for today. So these 3 highs in here. We did take this first one here, but we didn't end up taking these 2 yet. Maybe later on in the day we'll take those, or hopefully we leave them and then we can have them for tomorrow. But we'll have to wait and see. And then we have a higher draw here, and then the draw there, and then obviously all-time highs where we left the relative equal highs. But in the next coming weeks, I'm expecting to eventually take all-time highs, but we'll have to obviously again wait and see, right? Time is very important when we trade. So that's what we noted for draws on liquidity. One more note, we also noted this 4-hour low as well in here. That was just another small draw on liquidity there, and then you guys could have noted this one, but I didn't note this one this morning. And then in here we have this 4-hour gap. We did come up, take the buy side, as you guys can see with this 4-hour candle. You'll see it more in detail when we go to the lower time frames. But I came up, took this high, and then I was actually looking to continue higher and actually take these highs, but we ended up reversing, coming down, and then I was looking to see a tap of this 4-hour gap, but we didn't actually end up getting the tap, but that's okay. So that's what we noted on the 4-hour. Hourly, I mean, same thing here, right? You guys can see relative equal highs in here, these 3 here, 1, 2, 3, so strong draw on liquidity there. We had this one high in here, as well as this high in here, and then on the hourly, these 2 relative equal highs, and then obviously the all-time highs as you guys saw in the previous time frames. And then same thing here. We had this low in here in the 4-hour. This is the one that I noted on the this is the one on the 1-hour, same as the one we noted on the 4-hour, and then this was the one that I did not note on the 4-hour, but this is also a key one as it's inside of a fair value gap, right? So, and then we also didn't have any of these taps yet. We just had this original tap in here before continuing higher. And we'll review the long first, and then we'll review the short. So, and then obviously let me restate that. We're going to review the longs and then review the shorts. And that's separate from what I'm going to say now, but obviously we had these highs up here to draw to on the hourly time frame, right? Because when we were looking at it, this is what we had seen. So we'll see what market has to do, but this is what we noted now. Then going down to the 15 minute. Again, this is for all the longs that we took this morning. 15 minute, again, not much. We did have this 15 minute gap in here on the 15 minute time frame. We did end up tapping it early in the morning. I did want to see a tap of it. You guys will see why later when we go down in the 1 minute time frame, but I did want to see a tap of it again before continuing higher, but we did not get that tap. But luckily we did enter on that long, and then on the hourly we also had this hourly gap right in here. If I remove this one that I wanted to tap as well, that's this purple box in here. So I wanted it to tap that before going higher, but then again, as you guys can see, we did not end up tapping it. Do that so we can have the 15 minute, and then going down to the 1 minute time frame. This is where things get a little better. So obviously draws on liquidity were those highs. The other high was, I think it was at 68, 30,068. So we put our TP just below. And then we'll explain the stop loss and the entry in a second. But we'll note what we noticed this morning. Again, 15 minute time frame. That's fine. We're not live trading anyways. So 15 minute gap. That's this orange box. It was an inversion. But when we were looking at it, we'll look at it how we were looking at it this morning. So, nothing's loading. Let's see if we can change it like this. We can. Okay, so this purple box with the yellow outline, that's how we were looking at it. First thing I noted when I looked down in the 1 minute time frame, we had AMD, or we had accumulation. We were missing the manipulation. The manipulation was to the upside before we had distribution lower. But I did want to see prices come lower first to tap into this hourly and 15 minute gap, take out these lows in here, these relative equal lows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, before continuing higher. But we just ended up continuing higher immediately. So that's what we noted there. Then we had this first presented gap in here. If I zoom in a little bit more, this is that 15 minute, first presented gap in the 1 minute time frame. We did have a huge displacement lower after coming up to this price at 30,020-ish, right? We came down lower, tapped these fair value gaps. We also had this 1 minute fair value gap in here that we did end up inversing after the inversion. That's what I like to call it. But we had this 1 minute gap in here that we inversed to the sell side, to the upside, to the sell side, then ultimately to the upside with displacement. That was the key to this inversion gap, right? Because we can take it a million times in here, but this one, the reason why it was key because we had displacement up in here. So first, let me start over from the beginning, right? So we had this inversion gap where we ended up inversing it here, which created it as a bullish gap, and then we had the displacement through it, which kind of validated it. Went up, didn't enter on anything yet. Then we came down, created a first presented gap, tapping that inversion gap as well. We did end up tapping it a couple times. So one here going up, came down again, retested it. Bodies respected that 50% level. And then if we look at the Fibonacci, we grade this out. As you guys can see, no candle even tap into, it's going to be this one here. So this wick, this discount wick, this was the original wick right before we noted this one here. Bodies failed to close below even anywhere on the wick, right? But bodies failed to close below 50% level. Consequent encroachment is what we like to look at. We did trade below it, but that's okay. And then once we did trade below it, that became the discount wick. Now my thing is working. So that became the discount wick. Everything's destroyed now. Okay. So that became the discount wick after trading below it. But then as you guys can see, we didn't get any trades into it until around here later in the day, right? So inversion gap with the displacement higher, kind of confirming it. We had the discount wick, respect to the discount wick, and then we had displacement up after tapping into this inversion gap. And then we closed above the 50% level of this fair value gap. I did kind of front run this fair value gap. I know that's one of my rules, not to front run anything or jump the gun. Um, but just with the displacement, I wanted to get in early, especially that this entire thing was, this entire candle was 100 points. I didn't want to have to put my stop, down here 100 points. So I did enter here just after we closed. We came down a little more, got in, and then as you guys can see, we skyrocketed. The confirmation for this trade was obviously this inversion gap in here after we inversed it at 939, and then we continued higher. You guys could have targeted the ultimate highs, or the external highs that we wanted up here, or I think it was 368, 369. You guys could have targeted those, but I always put mine just below. I put it at around 365, and then we did end up hitting TP, and this was almost, it was 95-ish points, so almost 100 points move caught on here, which is really nice. And then if we look at the shorts, not much on the higher time frames, just a 15-minute in here. For this short, the reason why I took it was obviously we had draws lower. We still had this one draw on liquidity. We haven't taken it yet, this one in here, and then I think we took this one already. But those were the draws, and then obviously the 4-hour gap in here that we had marked out as well. So we had the draw on liquidity, this 15-minute gap, then once became an inversion, fair value gap, and then that kind of was confirming me to go lower, as well as we had the sweep of liquidity on the 369 one as well. And then also we can go back to the AMD accumulation, then we had the manipulation higher, and then we had the distribution lower. We didn't end up getting in any of these trades in here. You guys could have. You could have got on this inversion here, stop above the high, still would have been okay. And this fair value gap in here, you guys could have gotten in this change of state of delivery here, right? There's a lot of entries to enter on. Inversion of this inversion, tap of this fair value gap, right? I can name 1,000 entries. Inversion here, fair value gap tap here, which is actually what we entered on. But anything above those earlier in the day, we didn't enter on, but you guys could have. But looking in here, the reason why I took this again was the AMD first. We had the 15-minute inversion to lower to sell side, lower prices. Then I noted this fair value gap in here. We had respected it a couple times earlier in the day. Not too early, 10 minutes before we took this trade. But we did respect it. We came down, took the first area of sell side, and then the one I just deleted was that first area, and then we still had these draws in here. So yeah, we had AMD 15-minute inversion, came down, tapped the 15-minute inversion, tapped this fair value gap as well, before ultimately continuing lower. And then we also did have this change of state of delivery that we tapped because we traded below it, tap of it with the 1051 candle, and then we exploded down to TP. So overall, this trade was pretty good as well. And then obviously we did put stop just above that fair value gap. It was right there, right? You guys could have put it there, but I ended up choosing right there. I didn't want to risk too much on this trade. I did size down on this one as well, just because it was later in the day, and I kind of had just came back to the charts, and then obviously targeting these lows here. So I know it's kind of mixed. Today's recap was kind of mixed, but I didn't really have any notes written down on what to say in what order and anything like that. But this was just kind of what I noted. 2 trades today, 1 short, 1 long, both 100 points. So a total of 200 points today caught. Contract sizing wasn't the same. Risk sizing wasn't the same, just because I didn't feel comfortable or as comfortable risking as much in here as I just returned to the charts. But yeah, overall, it's actually a really great trading day. Very clear price and seeing what we want to do. And hopefully the rest of the week we can continue with the same wave, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow.